Humanity is in an existential crisis, and we are the only ones who can save it. We are experiencing an unprecedented deterioration of our species. We have to open our eyes to us being poisoned by food, water, air, medication, injections, and technology in order to carry out the Great Reset or the Fourth Industrial Revolution, as Klaus Schwab names it, referenced in World Economic Forum's website in my sources, to usher in the New World Order. They want to merge humans and technology to achieve their final goal of all digital, technocratic, transhumanist society with total control being done under the guise of progressivism and advancement. In order to achieve their goal, they have been hard at work for many decades. First, let's take a look at how GMOs and toxins are being used to destroy humanity. As Rudolf Steiner predicted, there will be a movement to take away the soul and disconnect people from the higher world. And in order to do that, they have to destroy the pineal gland, which is known to be the seat of the soul. In his own words, and I quote, "In the future, we will eliminate the soul with medicine under the pretext of a healthy point of view. There will be a vaccine by which the human body will be treated so that the human being cannot develop the thought of the existence of soul and spirit. In the future, children will be vaccinated with a substance that can be produced precisely in such a way that people, thanks to vaccination, will be immune to the madness of spiritual life. He would be extremely smart, but he would not develop a conscience." End quote. We know that the pineal gland is the most sensitive part of our central nervous system, and is highly sensitive to 4 particular things: aluminum, glyphosate, a GMO herbicide, fluoride, and electromagnetic frequencies. These things have been pushed onto us heavily in the last 70 years or so through our food, water, medical treatments, and even through our air that we breathe in every day. The result is that now people have severely calcified pineal glands, which are the receivers of higher fields of energy, as well as controlling our immune system, our endocrine system for our hormonal balance, and so on. And it is astounding that the telecommunications industry, out of so many frequencies, has chosen the 2.4 gigahertz frequency of Wi-Fi, which is the most destructible to ourselves and especially the pineal gland. The endpoint after you have inhaled aluminum from the geoengineering program, been injected with it through vaccines, and consumed glyphosate in your bodies through food and other products, is the formation of 6 different chemical compounds, which are created in our bloodstream as aluminum and glyphosate combine and get deposited in our pineal gland with the help of current frequencies and Wi-Fi, opening the blood-brain barrier. So the toxins that used to stay in the bloodstream in the body below the neck are now entering the brain as these frequencies are opening up the blood-brain barrier. After many years of research, many scientists have realized that an ultra-intelligent group of individuals or entities with destructive minds, possibly under the influence of higher fields of dark energies and not knowing on a human level what they are doing, have designed this protocol to fluoridate the drinking water, put nanoparts of aluminum in the air, vaccines, food, deodorants, etc., and put glyphosate in food to then activate it all and spark it with the right frequency. The perfect storm that is created here is just astounding. Moreover, all these 5G towers are appearing everywhere, including on satellites, blasting the whole planet, encompassing it with an amplified frequency that has never been tested for the safety of its influence on life forms, big or small, like insects, birds, fish, bees, etc. This is inconceivable and makes us question again the nature of those beings approving all these, as human nature is life affirmative and loving and wanting to live and make the biosphere a more friendly to live place. So there are some scary thoughts about those making such decisions. We've been put in a trap, but the door hasn't shut yet, and transparency can blow the game. We have to wake up and point this out so there can be a reversal. Wi-Fi waves can be switched off in a second. glyphosate can be forbidden, and chemtrail programs can be stopped just like that. We could turn our planet from a creature that's threatened on all levels to a paradise. We still have time, as we are at a turning point. Now, let's look at one of the main aspects or tools in our toolbox being used against humankind to bring about the Great Reset: food. We have been and are being fed food that is genetically modified, which genetically modifies us. These GMO foods are sprayed with so many toxins that are linked to autism, memory loss, cancers and tumors, birth defects, reproductive problems, etc. We have to fight these corporations and try our best to look for non-GMO or organic products when we shop. No one would want to have health problems after simply eating or using something filled with GMOs. After decades of feeding people GMO foods, they are now elevating their game to genetically modifying the microbes, genomes, and DNA of a living organisms via CRISPR technology. They are printing synthetic DNA with whatever traits they seem desirable, then using CRISPR to insert this as a synthetic DNA into bacteria that they are then putting in our food, soil, and fertilizer. This CRISPR technology, referenced in my sources, of genetically editing microbes and bacteria, which live in our gut where we actually have more neurons than we do in our brains, is closely tied to what is happening today with particular food shortages. It is also tied to the agenda of transhumanism, as well as growing protein needed to create COVID vaccines for those who otherwise refuse to receive the experimental gene therapy, as mentioned by the CEO of AeroFarms, referenced in my sources. They will do everything in their power to get these CRISPR nanotech microbes into us by manipulating microbes and inserting synthetic biology into foods of all kinds, thus weaponizing our food. That's why we are seeing manufactured food crises, avian flu in chickens, feeding chickens toxic food, which in turn also poisons us, causing them to not lay eggs, which makes us infertile too, mysterious fires at the biggest food factories, egg shortages, meat shortages, and a whole lot of other reasons. After connecting the dots, it becomes obvious that there is a deliberate attack on our food supply. And although our food supply is being attacked, we can fight back by supporting smaller businesses or organic farmers to not only know we are buying clean non-GMO products, but also to help them expand their business so that there will be fewer shortages and so we won't have to rely on big corporations to feed us poisons. Now, who do you think enters the scene with his microbial and endeavors trying to save the day? Good old Bill Gates. Gates, surprisingly, is the largest farmland owner in the country. He keeps buying more land, but pushes bug-based food, which, by the way, is toxic to humans, according to some studies. Synthetic lab-grown food, which includes, but is not limited to, impossible meat, chickenless synthetic artificial eggs, etc., upon people at a time of shortage and fires. He seems to be gaining a monopoly on food as food manufacturing plants are abruptly being destroyed and politicians are predicting more shortages. It seems like the Hegelian dialect, which is create the problem, then sell your desired solution to the problem that you created. This is exactly why we need to vote with our wallets and put our money where our mouth is, by either supporting local organic farmers or growing our own organic produce. So to recap, we talked about CRISPR gene editing, Bill Gates' agenda, and the Great Reset. But more importantly, we learned that the human race has been entrapped in a carefully concealed sinister plan to enslave a part and annihilate the rest of humanity, to bring about the destruction of biological life as we know it and the rise of a fully digitalized, technocratic, transhuman world. Spiritual and psychological warfare is being waged upon us, but most people don't even know that they are on a battlefield. Humanity is reaching a breaking point as toxic chemicals threaten humanity. We have to wake up and not let them take away what makes us human. We have to start growing and trading our food as we did for almost all of human existence, or finding local organic farmers and connecting with them, so we know where our food came from and not rely and depend on the big corporations to feed us poison, refuse all forced medical treatments and mandates by Big Pharma, who profits off of making people sick, not healthy. Even if it's the smallest step of purchasing non-GMO or organic products or foods from supermarkets, protecting ourselves from electromagnetic frequencies, or informing as many people as we can in order to be able to turn the tide and the light, such as a candle by God's grace, as I trust shall never be put out, as Bradbury mentions in his book, 451 Fahrenheit. Otherwise, we will be in for a very long and sick ride. And, as George Orwell put it, if you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Do not let it happen. It depends on you. Thank you.